welcome to Crafting on the Plains. My name is Jacinta. This is my channel about mostly counter cross stitch, but I also show occasionally knitting, sewing, quilting, and any other crafty endeavors that I happen to get up to. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you are a new viewer, welcome. Thank you for checking me out and giving me a try. And if you're a returning viewer, welcome back. I really appreciate all of you that take your time to watch my videos. I have got in this episode kind of a lot. I've really been actually doing my plans and my goals for this year. It is only January, so we'll see how the rest of the year goes, but so far so good. So I'm really excited to show you what I have been working on. I've got a finish object. I'm looking over here at my pile. I've got a finish object. I've got a new start. I've got some progress on my whips. I've got a little bit of haul, and then I do have a little bit of knitting at the end of the episode. But if you're not interested in that, that will come at the end. So before I jump right into it though, I did want to say that I do have an Instagram. I will put it down below, but it's just crafting.on.the.plains on Instagram. I have not been great the last couple weeks about updating it, but I am gonna make a goal to try to update that more if you just want to see what I'm doing in between Flosstube episodes. And then I would also just like to say, if you have not already, please consider subscribing, liking the video. It does help me out, and it also helps YouTube know what kind of videos that you're interested in as well. So I do have really quick, just little bit of life update related to stitching before I get into the stitching. Some of you who have been following me for a little while know that I have been on a bit of a journey with my eyes. I had eye surgery back in November. I'm not going to go back and rehash the whole story of why I had to have surgery and everything like that. That's in all my videos back in the fall, but I had to have eye surgery in November, and I have been having light treatments for the last month and a half or so to get my lens implants the best vision that they can have or give me, I guess. And so I finished my last light treatment this past Thursday, and so I'm done. And that's been really, really exciting because that's been taking up a lot of my week to go in and do with the weekly light treatments, and it's been a lot. So I'm really excited to be finished. My vision is much improved from what it was right after my surgery, and it is great. I will say that I do have to use readers for some stitching. A lot of stitching, I do have to use readers now, which has slowed me down a little bit because I'm just not used to that. For reading and stuff, I don't need readers unless it's really tiny font. But for the stitching, especially if I want to stitch with any kind of speed, I do need to have magnification. So that's been a little bit of an interesting thing to learn how to manage and everything like that. Especially if I'm doing something like I'm watching something on the television and then using my readers to kind of figure out the best way to do that. So yeah, so kind of a fun thing that I'm have to learn how to do. Did not expect to have to tackle that new adventure in my early 30s, but here we are. So I'm fine. I feel very happy that, I was able to have a successful surgery and that my vision has gotten as good as it can be. I have had, because of the light treatments before this, I was having to wear UV protected glasses, and now I don't have to wear those anymore. But I have noticed that I've got a lot of eye fatigue. I think just my eyes and everything is just getting used to not having the 24-hour UV protection. So that's been kind of interesting to deal with. So the last couple days I've had a lot of eye fatigue, and I'm just hoping that that'll go away with time, but that has definitely slowed down my stitching a little bit as well. So if I look a little bit tired, I look a little bit not myself, it's just because my eyes are really, really tired and I'm just getting used to it. So anyway, that is my stitching related life update. I know a lot of you have sent me a lot of prayers and well wishes and things related to my eyes and my surgery. So I did want to give you guys a little bit of an update on that and just kind of tell you how it's gone and everything. So I really, really appreciate those of you who've, sent me some kind words and thoughts and all of that. Okay, gonna get right into my stitching. And my first thing is a finish. And this is something I showed you last time as a new start. And this is light a single candle by Modern Folk Embroidery, and this is for my Year of Freebies SAL. So if you're going to use it, you can use the hashtag Year of Freebies SAL. And what I am doing for my Year of Freebies SAL is I'm starting one freebie every month. You can do as many or as few freebies as you want to. I've had quite a few people have joined in with me over on Instagram, and that's been super, super fun. If you're going to do it, please tag me, because there were a few people that have been using the hashtag that I didn't see because Instagram has changed the way that the hashtags show up for people. So please tag me so that way I can see your projects. And this was mine, and I'm already done. So again, this is lightest single candle by Modern Folk Embroidery. It is a freebie on the Modern Folk Embroidery site. I did modify this a little bit because it has just a single stitch border all the way around, and I omitted that. I don't think the border looks bad, but I didn't feel like it was super necessary. And it's probably just because I'm not a very talented framer, but I have found that when something has like especially a very narrow border, it makes it very difficult to frame, because that border just shows any little pull or flaw or, not perfectly squared up. So I thought that this would make it just a slight bit easier to frame, hopefully. And so I'm very excited. It turned out beautifully. I love this piece. So this is stitched on a 36 count Witching Hour by Under the Sea Fabrics, and I stitched it with just sulky white, and I did one strand over two because it's sulky, the 12 weight sulky. So, and I do really, really love the sulky coverage on this. It was quite thick, I will say, but I think it looks so just bright and stark and amazing. Really, really happy about this piece. I don't know that I will finish all my freebie pieces like in the month that I start them. That's not necessarily a goal, but this one was so close to a finish that I realized, you know what, I'm just going to take a couple days and make this a focus piece and just get it done, because I feel like that will, it'll make me feel very accomplished to have like a finish already at the beginning of the year. And I'm so happy I did. And I've already ordered a frame to put it in. Actually, I got the frame, but it's just a plain white frame. So I will show it to you when it is framed. So that is my fully finish. I have a new start, and that is right here. I will have to pop a picture on the screen of it because it is just a PDF pattern. But this is a new start for a stitch along hosted by my friend Sally of Flossy Sews and Grows. She has been doing the best of British stitch along, and so she's encouraging people to stitch British designers, people from the UK who are designers. And this one right here is, I feel like not all of my threads are showing up that great on camera, but in person they show up just fine. This is Hair and Toadstools, and this is by Wanderling Stitches. She is a designer. She has an Etsy shop, and she might have a website. I'm not sure. But she is based, I think, primarily based out of Scotland, but she has recently, I think, been doing some like traveling and like living in different places and stuff, which is really exciting and cool for her. She actually closed down her shop briefly, so I bought quite a number of her patterns because I was afraid I wouldn't be able to get them again. And then she has reopened her shop, so that's good news. And she has a whole series of these hair and something else patterns. I did the hair and thistles last year, and so now I'm doing hair and toadstools. I think I have 2 or 3 other of these from this series, and they're really cute, really quick to stitch up. And I'm just doing this with all the called for floss because I love, actually that's a lie, I think 1 or 2 of these colors are like 1 shade difference, like of the DMC, but I tried to keep it as true to her colors as possible. She has a really good color sense. And I'm stitching it on a 32 count Picture This Plus Ren, and I'm doing 2 over 2. And this one is great because it has a lot of just fill-ins, so I'm just sort of tracing out areas and then working on them when I need a good fill-in project. And I am probably going to keep this one going until it's finished. I would like to have this as a finish very soon. I also know that toadstools are often in some places like a Christmas thing, so I think this is technically a Christmas pattern, We don't have, at least in my part of the US, we don't have these type of toadstools. I wish we did because they're so cute, but we don't have these. So I think it'd be nice as like a pattern, a piece I can keep out from fall all the way through until my spring stuff. So that's why I am stitching it now. And it is so cute. My next pieces are all whips. So I'm going to show you my whips that I had from my whip wheels that I pulled last time. And I actually, I had to take screenshots because I forgot to take pictures. So I actually went back through my own video and took screenshots. So hopefully the screenshots look decent. I did crop them, so it's not like a whole screenshot, but I cropped it to just the image of the whip so that you could see. So the first one that got pulled, I have two whip wheels. I have a focus whip wheel, which has less whips, projects that I want to work on more frequently, and then I have just a regular whip wheel. So my first focus whip that was pulled was Dimensions Wind Moon Fairy. This is a Dimensions Gold collection. I started this past June with my friend Caroline from Caroline's Stitch Corner, and she told me that she hasn't worked on hers recently, so maybe Caroline, you can get yours out and stitch it a little bit with me. So I did work on this, and I'm so happy that this got pulled because this is, I don't know, I just find this to be an amazing comfort stitch. And a couple people, including Jan, who has a Flosstube, I'll link her Flosstube below. She reached out to me about the Dimensions does have, and I think a couple other people have told me this before, Dimensions will provide you with a PDF if you email them, or I think there's like a link to request it. I did know about that, but it's not Pattern Keeper compatible, the PDF. So I've always been hesitant to use it, but she did suggest just having it like on a tablet, and that way I could zoom in if I needed to. And I think that's a great idea as well. I haven't requested the PDF because so far I've not had issues seeing it with my updated eyes, essentially, plus my readers. But if I may still go ahead and request the PDF if I decide I want to. It might be nice to print out like working copies. So there is the pattern, and then you will see on the screen where I was the last time and where I am now. So I'm trying to hold this in a way that's the most reasonable. So I got quite a bit done. I don't know how many stitches because I'm doing it off the paper, but I added in this part of her shawl. I did quite a bit of this back stitch background around here, and then I also added a bit into her dress, and I love it. I sort of sometimes get overwhelmed when it comes to patterns like this on where I should go next. So I decided to just sort of focus on like the one half of the bottom page, because it's two pages because they're long ways. So it could be 4 pages, I don't know if that makes sense, but I'm really trying to focus on basically like the bottom left corner of the piece and just kind of working down until I hit that bottom corner, and then I'll move forward. So it would be great to get about 25% of the pattern done this year. If I can do that, that might be a nice goal, but I'm very happy with how it's going. And this half stitch background is done with 3 strands of thread, just one half of the X, and it goes quite fast. So that is very nice to work on. So this one will probably get put away. I have my wheel set on fair mode, so it's not supposed to pull the same thing twice, or like not supposed to pull the same thing twice often. But I am excited to get back to that one because it is very fun to work on. It's very relaxing to work on. It's intense to work on, but it's one of those things where like if I'm stressed out, I can't really think about anything but stitching that piece, and so it really does help me out, which has been nice. So okay, my next piece is one that I was admittedly not enthusiastic to have pulled on my wheel because it was a Christmas project, and that is Go Tell It on the Mountain. And a couple people had mentioned, like, you did not seem happy about that. But yeah, so I was not pleased. I will say this was not a slog to work on like I thought it was. It was fun to work on. But I would like a little bit of a break from Christmas, so hopefully that's what I get this time. But here we are, and I will post a picture of my progress. So I think I just worked on some of the greenery around different places and maybe filled in some roof. I'm not really sure. Part of the reason I didn't mind working on this was that I really did not stitch a whole ton. When I pulled this out, I have this on Pattern Keeper. I don't think I told you this one. This is Go Tell It on the Mountain by Heartstring Samplery, and it is on a 36 count Oaken by Picture This Plus, and I'm looking down at my notes, I'm doing 1/2 with my own color and cotton conversion. And if you're interested in my conversion, let me know. I have had to sub out some of my flosses because they aren't working the way I thought they would, but I can give you what I have. If you're interested, just leave me a message or DM me on Instagram or send me an email. My email's below. But I realized I was at about 44%. And so I thought, you know what, I'm just going to get to 50% and then call it good and just stop. And so that's what I did. I just got to 50% and then I stopped working on it. So I did like a couple hundred stitches, I want to say. But it wasn't a lot, but it was okay because the point of the wheel is not to like achieve massive progress unless I want to. The point of the wheel is to just keep getting steady progress on my whips, not forget about them, not let them languish for a whole year. And so that is what I have done. And I think this will be great to pull out either the next time it gets called or Jolly July and put a little bit more on it and get me closer towards being able to have a finish on it next holiday season. So there it is. I did not hate stitching on it, but I am looking forward to putting it down for a little while. I had one more whip that was not a, focus whip from my wheel, and that is this stitch. It is my New Year, New Start, and it is Portrait of a Unicorn by Cute Patterns by Maria. And I love this project. It has been so much fun. So I will post a picture of where I was the last time. Same thing. It's a screenshot. But I am at 77% complete on this, not counting back stitching because I'm doing it Pattern Keeper. Pattern Keeper does not count back stitches. But I have done a bit of the back stitching already. So I don't have all the back stitching left to do. So I did finish the back stitching on the face because I got the color I was missing, and I finished the horn, did the back stitching on the horn, back stitched the ears. I've been working a lot on, I've been sort of focusing on this mane here, which I'm not completely finished with, but very close finished with the mane. And I've also been putting some stitches in the flowers as well. And it's been really nice. So basically what I was doing is if I had a color that I'd stitched on the horn and then it was called for down here, I just go ahead and finish off my thread, and I just kept going in that way, and I'm really happy with it. This is a gorgeous piece. I am hoping to finish the mane really soon and do the back stitching on the mane, and then all I will have left is the flowers. So this is being stitched on a 32 count Under the Sea Fabrics. It's called Georgia Peach. I did check this time. It's called Georgia Peach. It's a 32 count, and I'm stitching it 2/2 with all the called for flosses. And this one, I think I said last time, it does not have any blends, and I'm very impressed by that. It does have a lot of back stitch, but it does not have any blends. So if you don't like blends, this might be a good project for you. And this is a needle minder that was made by my friends Bree and Ashlyn at Red Dirt Floss Works. They have a Flosstube that I will link below as well. And yeah, so very excited about it. I love this piece. This is going to be one that I just keep going until I'm done because I can't seem to put it down, and it's for my daughter. And she asks me every day when her unicorn will be done. So I have a lot of extrinsic motivation for this piece. All right, so that actually concludes my whips. I'm going to talk to you about plans, and that means I've got to spin my wheels. So I'm going to spin my wheels for my whips, and hopefully we don't pull anything Christmas. So the first one I'm going to spin is my focus whip wheel, which is right here. It landed on Wind Moon Fairy again. So this is so funny because I just said it probably won't land on the same thing, and then it landed on Wind Moon Fairy. So I guess I'm keeping it going. So that's all right though, because I love it. Okay, so Wind Moon Fairy it is. And then, and you've already seen that one, so I don't need to pull it. And then my next one will be just all of my whips. Oh, and it landed on Moonglow. So I'm very happy about that because that is one that I was actually thinking I wanted to pull out anyway because it is a Nora Corbett piece and Fancy Lady February is coming up. So let me grab Moonglow. I actually think I already have it here, so it should be really quick. So here is my bag with Moonglow in it, and this is the chart. This is one of the like back stitched ladies, and here is this piece. Excuse the creases. I don't know what wisps are going to be called, so I can't pre-iron, but there it is. So I'm very excited to be able to be working on this one. I really need to pull this out and stitch it with other floss, but I will probably just continue on this bottom part because I'm very close to finishing the little, I don't know, blanket or whatever it is that she's on. So there that one is. And that leads me to another whip that's going to be a focus whip that I'm going to share with you for my plans. And so I've been playing I have a stitchy game, a whip game that I've been playing with some friends, and the piece that I'm going to be working on for that is going to be another Nora Corbett piece, which is Capricorn. And this was my birthday start, so I think you did see this last time, but I did not stitch on it last time. I didn't stitch on it since last time because I've been focusing on other things. So excited to be able to work on that. And I'm not going to show it in my haul because it's kind of boring looking, but I bought some of the clear, like invisible thread to do beading. So I might do some beading either on this one or on Moonglow. And I have something in my haul that's kind of exciting, hopefully exciting, that will help me with that. So with that, I'm on to haul. So I might as well talk to you about the thing I've been hinting at, which is I bought something. I have not tried this out. So this is not a review. It's not, I don't know. I will report back next video, I promise, on how this thing works. But I bought something off Amazon, and I bought a scroll frame off of Amazon. I know. I'm skeptical as well. So I was watching Cam the Stitcher, and in her, I can't remember if it was her Whip Parade or her last episode, but she was saying she's kind of been having a conundrum that I was actually thinking about this and while I was stitching, and she talked about it, which is that she has a pattern. I can't remember. I think it's a chatelaine she has, but she has a pattern that's got beads, and she said that she doesn't do a lot of beading. And she was thinking about getting a scroll frame so she could bead as she goes, but she didn't want to invest like a ton of money in a scroll frame for just a couple projects and wasn't sure, issues. So I thought, I think I've seen them on Amazon. And I have historically been very wary of purchasing just sort of like random things off of Amazon that aren't from a particular like brand. Like I do buy my Morgan hoops off Amazon, but I know what those are, right? So I found this one. It's like 30 something dollars, was on sale for like $26 or $27. And it had good reviews and it's sort of interesting. So I figured for $27, if I don't like it, I mean, it's Amazon, so I can probably just return it anyway, but it's not like a massive investment. And I have no hate towards the scroll frame makers that charge higher amounts, because I am sure that they are very, very good quality and that there is a reason why they cost so much. But I'm hesitant. I've never thought that I would want to use a scroll frame before, and so I don't want to invest a lot of money into one and then hate it. Also, the other scroll frames that I have seen they use like where you have to sew on your piece or like lace on your piece, or like there's tapes or things. It's sort of like a complicated attachment to the scroll frame that looks like kind of, at least to me, intimidating, easy to mess up, difficult to fix. Like you're sort of like affixing your piece to this frame and then you can't switch it out until you're done, basically, is my understanding. And if you're a scroll frame user, please feel free to educate me on how you use your scroll frame, tips, things like that. But this one has, I'm going to open it up. So this is the brand. So again, I don't know. I'll report back and tell you how I like it. But, and this is still like, I opened this morning. It came last night. I opened it this morning. It has these like clips, plastic clips. The frame is wood, but it has these plastic clips similar to a Q-snap. So like but on two sides. And so you just clip your piece on, and it seems like you could unclip your piece and like swap it if you wanted to, or if like you get it crooked, just take it out, clip it again, whatever. So I like that. I like not having to sew and lace and all those things and just clip it. The downside to this frame, the main complaint I've seen from people online, is that this one is 9.8 inches by 12.5 inches. And they have like 5 sizes, and you can't, like, these bars, they don't sell these bars separately. You can't adjust it at all. So if your piece is bigger than these bars, you have to buy the whole neck scroll frame up and buy all of it. So they're set sizes, and you can't, like, as far as I can tell, they don't sell their bars or anything like that individually. So that is kind of, I think, a downside, and why some people have not loved this one from what I have seen. For me, I don't have a lot of big pieces. I don't mind using a hoop on something like a full coverage or on like my dimensions kit. I actually don't mind using a hoop on those. But for things that have beads, for things that have like silk stitching and silk back stitching, I kind of want to try something else out. So I thought that this would be like a good low cost, like, gateway into the scroll frame. So I'm gonna check it out. I'm gonna let you know how I like it. I will let you know if I hated it. I will let you know if I loved it. So yeah, I will report back next time, because I definitely plan on probably today or tomorrow putting one of those Noras on this scroll frame and seeing how it goes. So we'll see. I'm excited about it. I'm skeptical and excited at the same time. All right. My other bit of haul is something I'm so happy about. This was a birthday present to myself. It came actually kind of quickly, but it did have to come all the way from London, Ontario, because it is my very first order ever from Evertotes, from Roxy Floss Company. And I did splurge on myself, if I do say so myself. If you're following my Instagram, you've already seen this, you know what it is. But I bought the fully kitted from Evertote Roxy Floss version of Rejoice Evermore. So here is the chart. If you're not familiar, this is from With Thy Needle and Thread, Brenda Gervais. I know a lot of people have stitched this already, and every time I saw someone stitching it, I just thought, that is so pretty. That is so pretty. I want to stitch that. And I was joking with my husband. I've asked for this for Christmas, my birthday, for the last couple years, and then I haven't got it, which is fine. He's gotten me amazing other gifts, right? I'm not complaining. But when I didn't get it this year, I realized just how much I really, really wanted it. And I had actually looked for this chart the last time I was at a couple different LNSs and couldn't find it. So I just thought, you know what? I'm just going to do it. I'm going to splurge on myself. It's my birthday, or it was my birthday last month, and I'm going to get it. So I got the chart, and I got the 36 count linen. So I bought the full kit. I wonder if you can hear that cat. There is a cat that is like I don't know if it's somebody else's outdoor cat or if it's a cat that lives in the neighborhood, but it sits at our window and meows. Like, it sits on the fence and just meows. Like, I think maybe because it knows that we have a cat in the house and it can see her through the window sometimes, but it day and night. Okay, so I got the linen. I got the 36 count. This is 36 count porcelain. It's essentially like a cream color. Very excited. And then I think the most exciting part is I don't want to take these out because they're all packaged nicely. I got the Roxy Flosses, the Roxy Flossco Flosses, the conversion for this. And I am so, so happy to be stitching this. So I'm not going to start it right away. I want to, but I also kind of want to just look at it some more and enjoy it. It's been in the package, but every once in a while I will just like go open up my package and just sort of look at the stuff, and it makes me feel happy. So I really need some things to make me feel happy right now. So it's been good. It's been good to get this in the mail. So I got this. I'm thinking this is going to be an Easter start. I think Rejoice Evermore is a good pattern to start for Easter. And so again, I know a lot of people have already stitched this. But if anybody has this or wants to get it and wants to start it on Easter with me, please let me know. I would love to stitch it with you. Or if you have it and you haven't finished it, and you don't think you'll have it finished by Easter, please let me know if you'd be interested in pulling it out with me. I would love to stitch this together. But it is a beautiful chart and a beautiful flosses, beautiful fabric. So I'm so, so happy that I got this for myself. All right. That is pretty much all my haul. Like I said, I did buy that clear thread. I have a couple like random bits and bobs that are like a single color of DMC and like things like that are not exciting. So those are the actual exciting parts of my haul. So that is all of my stitching. If you're only here for the stitching, I really appreciate you, and I will see you in the next one. But if you want to see some knitting progress, then I am going to start that now. So I have one knitting project that I have primarily worked on, and if you saw my last video, you will know what it is. It is my Miserina by Kaylin Hunter. And this is in a Home Row Fiber Co bag. I have no idea if they still make bags. I bought this bag a long, long time ago. That was my cat. If you heard that crashing, that was her running around. And that's also her meowing, if you can hear that. So this is my Miserina. I'm using an Apothecary Fibers yarn it's a light fingering weight. I don't know the color weight or the base, unfortunately. I bought it at a yarn festival, and it was like a mislabeled, so it was on sale. This is Don't Let the Hard Days Win, which was an exclusive colorway by Dragon Horde Yarns. So here it is. I have Cat. She is... Okay, I tried to pick her up and she did not want to be picked up. So she's just apparently going to be noisy over there or something. All right, this is the, this is my Mizzarina. And I finished the first sleeve. This is drafted. The pattern is designed to be short sleeves, but I'm doing long sleeves. So I finished the first sleeve. I'm kind of doing it like a little bit of like, not quite a puffed sleeve, like not as dramatic as this. I did not make this, by the way. I bought this. This is a ready-made cardigan, but not as dramatic as this one. But I didn't want to do any decreases. One, I kind of like the look of like a little bit of an oversized sleeve with a gathered cuff. And I also, because this has a textured pattern. I don't know how well you can see it on camera, but this has a textured pattern. And I didn't want to figure out the math of like how to decrease it and keep it in pattern. So we just went with this and I think it looks good. And so I am on the final sleeve because there's just two, obviously. I'm still weird saying the last sleeve as if I have multiples, as if I have more than two, but I have my last sleeve. This stitch marker is also from Dragon Horde Yarn. So I'm working on it. And I told you guys that my goal was to have this done by the end of January. And that is coming up in a few days. So I need to get knitting. But I do think this is going quite quickly now that I've sort of gotten into rhythm with the pattern. So I am still hoping that I can finish this by the end of January. If it goes into the beginning of February, it's not the end of the world, but I want to get this done. I want to get this off my needles. I have so many other knitting projects I want to work on, but I am refusing to let myself cast on a single other thing until this sweater that I've been knitting for 2 years, which is way too long for me because I can knit a sweater in way less than 2 years until this sweater is done. And I want to have it. I want to wear it I want to wear it before it starts getting warm. So I need to get it done soon. So here it is, and it is a cropped body, and I think it's gonna be really cute with like some high-waisted jeans or like a high-waisted like skirt type thing, or even over a dress, like a crop sweater over a dress. I think it'll be good. Very excited. I'm gonna keep showing you guys this because I'm trying to stay accountable to get this sweater done. Okay. I think I did put a couple other a couple rounds in like some socks or something, but nothing that you can really see. So that really is all my knitting. That concludes my projects for this week. I didn't do any sewing. I really need to do some quilting and some sewing. I have some projects I want to work on, but it has been actually very cold the last couple weeks here in Oklahoma, and yeah, like in the teens, and like it's been below freezing, which is not like super common for us. So my sewing machine is set up in basically a converted garage that was converted before we bought the house, and so there's not a lot of insulation in there, and so that when it is cold outside, that room is not a lot warmer than the outdoors, and so it is not pleasant to be in there when it is that cold. So I'm hoping that we get a couple warmer days where I also feel motivated to get in there and get to my sewing machine and do a little bit of sewing, because I would love to do some of that to show you in the next few weeks. But that is all my projects. Thank you so much if you've stuck with me this long. If you stuck with me this long, please tell me what you are working on. Tell me what you've been stitching on, if you're stitching on something while watching this, or what is the next project you're planning on stitching on. I would love to know, and I really appreciate you taking time out of your week to spend with me. I will see you in the next couple weeks, and I hope you get lots of crafting time in.